Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. My fat fingers hit the wrong button. Y'all come on back. Y'all come on back in. Uh, this is part two. This is part two. Y'all come on back. Hopefully, I got a notification. Let's see if it's showing if I'm on or not. Ah, part two. Let me put me a little post. Y'all come on back. It's saying I'm live, but I don't know whether I'm live or not. I apologize, y'all. Y'all know I'm gonna have to get better with this. Do better, Cruiser. Do better, Cruiser. And I appreciate y'all patience. Again, I thank y'all for being members and subscribers and all of that. I think I'm back. Am I back? Y'all come on back in here. And we're back. Thank you, what was said. Thank you, Bay. That's my Bay. And we're back. Okay. All right. All right. So we was talking about, so y'all have to go watch part one where we was talking about Bishop Felton and who he is and all of that. So we're going to get right into it. I'm not going to repeat all that. Y'all have to watch part one. So these going to be renamed part one and part two. Yes, please hit that like button as you come in. Thank you, what was said. Please hit that like button. Let's start all over. Well, we ain't gonna start all over again. Thank you for coming back, Denise. Thank y'all for coming back. Yours truly. We're back. We're back. We're back. Yes, yes, we're back. Thank y'all for coming back. So, as I was saying before I hit the wrong button, Thais did a video yesterday, and Bishop Felton, Archbishop Felton, joined him. And the video that he did yesterday was based on a post that Larry Reed made. And hold on, everything is loading up for me. That on based on the post that Reed made, saying, what was the post? I had it just a minute ago. The post said something to the effect of, Jesus never said that he died for our sins. This was Apostle Paul's theology. Um, and then that post also said Jesus preached how to live, while Paul preached what to live. And then they talked about today's Christianity follows Paul theology about Jesus, making Jesus simply a mascot. So those were some thoughts, I'm assuming, of Thais and maybe Larry Reed. And that's when Bishop Felton joined the conversation. Bishop Felton joined the conversation, stating that he doesn't consider Dr. Reed's statement a significant issue because it lacks proof and intellectual substance. Bishop Felton came in hot. He came in hot, y'all. He came in hot. Hold on. Y'all know we got to get through the commercials, but I just want y'all to hear how hot he came in. I said, okay, whoever you are, sir, I don't know you, but okay then, okay then. Very important subject to others. Personally, I don't think it's an issue. Okay. I think theologically, yes. I think it is a theological issue that does need to be addressed, but I don't think that the statement that was made would actually cause me to get up out of the bed and address it. Then why should I even respond to it? Okay. So Bishop Felton said it wasn't significant to him, and why should he even respond to it? It wasn't that a big of importance to him. My question to Bishop Felton would be, so why did you go on the show? So why did you even go on the show? If it's something that you, because you're saying it's not something that you would even respond to, but yet you're on the show responding to it. And in my opinion, he responded to it very well, but it still, made me wonder, what are you responding to it for? Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Good morning, Ox City. Thank you for coming in, my moderator and my friend. Good morning, T. Danielle. And if I miss anybody, forgive me. I messed up the thing and had to come back. Hey, J. Dutta. Yours truly said, calling that baby a dummy in a highway. Yeah, he came in hot with that. I was like, okay, okay, I see you, I see you, Bishop Felton. So just to go through a little bit more of their conversation. Y'all know y'all gotta bear with me because I don't be having this stuff ready, so I'll be having to go back and forth between two devices. Sometimes my device want to be slow. So he came in, saying, that ain't no big no big no big deal to me, because it ain't nothing of significance that I'm gonna jump up out of bed to argue about because it lacks intellectual substance. Um, and then Bishop Felton goes on to explain that people mean different things, including Paul inventing Christianity. So he goes on to Taisa was like, well, he said, Thais kind of asked him, well, why are you here? He said, well, it's important to you, so I'll discuss it. Because it's important to you and you contacted me, I'll indulge in discussing it. And he goes on and saying that Paul's words mean different things to different people. Paul inventing Christianity and extending it beyond Jesus' teaching. His teachings is being just exposed to Jesus, or Paul not being Christian at all. So there was a whole debate going on about whether Paul went beyond what Jesus' teachings was. It was a debate whether Paul was even a Christian at all and all of that. They had a discussion about the accuracy of Jesus and Paul preaching different messages. They went through, honey. They was scripture swapping. There was a lady that came up and was asking questions. There was a guy that came up who was Jewish, of the Jewish faith, black guy. I guess I don't know who he was, but he came up and he was trying to get a little emotional, and Felton kept his composure. It was like, we're gonna have a conversation. We want to calm down a little bit. And then they had a discussion on the concept of sinners and God's authority. A concept of sinners and God's authority. And I want to play a little bit of that. I don't want to play the whole thing. If y'all interested in this, then go over and listen to, of course, Thais's video.
Yes, sir. Please. Okay, so let's just talk about the biblical concept of sinner. It's from a Greek word hamartia, of course, and it means a person who has missed the mark, meaning there is a standard that is stand what was going on in their life. So, I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Elder Tice, do I have permission to ask the good Archbishop one last question, and I'll get on?
Sure, I'm probably going to move the Nicki Minaj conversation to tomorrow.
I'll be fast.
We'll just do this, and then I'll be.
There's only one good, and that's God. Pray for me.
So she kept, this lady, real nice lady, knowledgeable lady, but she kept calling him the good Archbishop, the good Archbishop. And I could tell it was beginning to kind of get on his nerves a little bit because, most of us thinking, don't keep calling me good. That's going to make me cringe, And he finally said, ain't nothing good now but Jesus. Ain't nothing good but Jesus.
Well, go ahead. You are good, but as far as a human, for a leader, because I had brought this to one of my Muslim friends. Is it right for elite people to define what is moral and what is sinful, what is good?
So she was basically, in my opinion, calling Paul an elite because of Paul's background and the family that he came from. And so she was asking, is it good and fair for them to determine, what is good in all that in other people? And he gave some scriptures to answer that. And then he went on to define sin and authority.
Okay, so before we can actually get into this, I think it is, because you ask a good question. First of all, thank you. It is a good question. But I think that we first need to come to terms on what is or isn't sin altogether. And we have to answer, as you're alluding to, a more basic question. who has the authority to define sin? Okay. Well, I would submit unequivocally that humans do not have the authority to define sin, regardless of whether it is.
So from that conversation, again, y'all want to hear the whole thing, go on over there to Thais. From that conversation, there was another question that asked concerning Moses and the Ten Commandments. Thais started asking, how do we know that Moses, when he wrote the Ten Commandments, he add a few of his own? How we know that it was actually came from God, and Moses didn't insert himself into that. And so they started, hold on, let me turn off these notifications. I apologize. So they started having a debate, or a discussion rather, about that concerning the Ten Commandments. Let me see what else they talked about. They talked about a lot of stuff. Paul defining Christianity, the consequences of Jesus and Paul messages. They talked about the absence of challenges to Paul in the New Testament. And the guy who got up there who was Jewish, every time Bishop Felton would answer something, he'd be like, "Oh, well, I don't read the New Testament. Oh, well, I don't follow the New Testament." It's like, okay, well, you obviously disagree with him. So why are you having this conversation? What is the purpose of this conversation? It's not going to go anywhere because y'all don't believe in this. Y'all don't have the same beliefs. So y'all going to just sit there and debate. Like, why? They talked about the biblical concept of a sinner, Moses and the Ten Commandments, like I just said. So, I watched most of it. And the whole time I was watching it, I was thinking, why do we need other people to agree with us? That was my thoughts the whole time I was watching it. I believe, and most of y'all know this because I've said this many, many times on my show. Hey, Catherine Powell, thank you for coming in. I've said this. Hey, Truth and Reason. I've said this many, many times on my show. I believe people can believe and should believe as they want to believe. Whatever works for you, whatever works for your faith, you do that. You want to be Muslim? Do that. I respect it. You want to be Buddhist? Do that. Absolutely. Jehovah's Witness? Go with it. You Trinitarian? Okay, I get it. You're not Trinitarian, apostolic, meaning oneness. Okay. I don't understand needing other people to agree with you in your faith. I think that a relationship with God or your spirituality is very individual and personal. Not personal in the fact that it needs to be kept a secret, but personal in the fact that it's your thing. It's your relationship. And you don't need to let somebody else define what your relationship is with God or to determine for you what you believe. Now, I can sit with a person who believes differently from me. I just talked about Christmas at the beginning of the live, in the first live. Y'all make sure y'all catch the first live because my fat fingers hit a button and I got turned the live off. I talked about the fact that I don't celebrate Christmas in the traditional commercialized way that most people do. I believe it's pagan. I believe that it says in book of Jeremiah, don't go cutting down trees and decorating it, trimming it in silver and gold as the heathen do. But I can sit with people who believe in Christmas and celebrate Christmas and not have a problem with it. Because again, I think religion and spirituality is personal, and I respect what somebody else believes. I ain't gonna knock it down. Whatever is helps you stay close to God and have a relationship with God, you do that. I don't need you to agree with me. I don't need not one person to agree with me about my feeling about Christmas. I don't need not one person to agree with me that I believe that Jesus is the Son of God, but I believe that Jesus is God and Jesus and God is one. I don't need nobody to agree with me for me to have a relationship with God. We got this thing where people, the reason why we come out here and debate these things is because we need for people to agree with us. So I don't understand. And some people say, well, why can't you have a discussion about God? Well, you can. But when you go away, don't let that determine what you believe. I can have a discussion about my thoughts on Christmas, and then I can listen to somebody else and say, well, it's about love and it's about giving because Jesus gave the perfect example of giving. I can go with that and still respect. So it was an interesting conversation, but I was like, why? Why do we even need to do it? 3 buttons in the top corner. Yes, if you want to, if you can double tap to hit the like button, or you can hit those 3 buttons. Thank you. What was said? Let me see what y'all. Yes, tell the Lord thank you. Hey, lady. Hey, lady. Lady T-shirts design. Let me see who else is in here before we get on to the next thing. What was said? Thank you for the Thank you for the super chat. You got to remember, most people want to be led by thought leaders. I guess, Lady T-shirt says, I don't celebrate like others either. You won't give me a day to love and give to my loved ones. I agree. I believe in something is my thing. Good morning, Big Cruiser. Happy holidays. Have my family in Raleigh, North Carolina for the holidays. Oh, are you in Raleigh? I'm trying to get through these comments. And Kojic sure loves the Catholic structure. Truth or Reason said. Who was just being annoying? Exactly, at yours truly, he was just being annoying. Let me catch up so I can see who y'all said was being annoying. And I apologize, y'all. I can't get through all the comments. Especially when they jumping around for me. Oh, that sweet lady was Sister Michelle Holly. Was that her name? Yeah, she did seem very nice. She was very nice and very extremely respectful. And if anybody I didn't speak to, I apologize. These oh, you're working from home. These comments are going real quick and jumping all over the place, especially because of how I'm of this app that I'm using. But again, it was an interesting conversation. It kind of went up a little bit when one gentleman came on, but they was able to get through the conversation. They disagreed at the end. And people always say, you got to agree to disagree. We ain't got to agree to disagree. We just disagree. We ain't got to agree on it. It's just a fact that we disagree. But it turned out to be an okay conversation, and it was what it was. I just didn't get the gist of it, but moving right along. So also yesterday over here in the beef sector, the carnal church sector, the churchy sector, or whatever you want to call it, Dr. Kevin R. Johnson was on St. James show. Like I said yesterday, it wasn't the day before, I think Sunday and Monday they was woo banging and clanging and roasting and gagging and getting stuff straight and it was beefing, but not yesterday. Not yesterday that I could see the stuff that I was watching. It was more structured, more interesting, more thought-provoking yesterday. So yesterday, Reverend Dr. Kevin R. Johnson was on the St. James show. So let's see who the Reverend Dr. Johnson is. Let's see who he is. Hold on. And I thought I had that queued up, but now everything want to act crazy with me this morning. I know he's a new elected pastor. All right, act right, device. Okay. So Dr. Kevin R. Johnson, pastor and reverend, he is a newly elected pastor of a church in New York, New York. I thought I had this queued up and it don't want to act right. He became the pastor of that church in June 2024 to become the 21st senior pastor of the Ebenezer Baptist Church. And you know what? Let's just do it this way. The Ebenezer Baptist Church has elected the new pastor. Congratulations to the Reverend Dr. Kevin R. Johnson and his wife. Is that Kendra? Is that what that is? Kenra, and their children. I'm not even gonna mess with the names. Let's see if this plays. Since everything want to act up on me in this morning.
Johnson taking over after a 2-year search, succeeding the legendary Reverend Calvin Butts. The process was not without controversy as Johnson makes a homecoming.
Let me play that one more time.
Harlem's historic Abyssinian Baptist Church has a new leader, the Reverend Kevin Johnson, taking over after a 2-year search, succeeding the legendary Reverend Calvin Butts. The process was not without controversy as Johnson makes a homecoming.
Thank you for the super chat, Jay Tata. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So are y'all familiar with him and familiar with everything that went down at this church? Y'all are trip. Now Pastor got a hell of a hairline. I think people who always debate religion are trying to prove something to themselves. The religion thing will have you all twisted up. It's very confusing topic to navigate. Yeah, going back to, the debate in that, I agree. Some people won't argue religion, and I understand why. It's not that because they're scared of it or they might be proven wrong or anything. It's just why argue what you believe? You know what I'm saying? Why challenge what somebody else chooses to believe? I just don't get the whole purpose of it. And then I think, again, it's that they feel more comfortable if everybody agree with them. We don't have to have everybody agree. I don't have to have everybody agree with me for me to understand, for my belief in my relationship to be strong. I just don't. But that seems to be a thing. Lady T said, St. James has been making his stamp in these YouTube streets. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. His numbers grew fast. I remember when St. James came out. In the beef sector, they have this thing where they say, come out of the house of, or vlog father or vlog mother. It's just a thing they do. It's just a thing that they do in the beef sector. And what that means is it may be somebody that was shouted out by a person. They might have started on like as a panel on that panel's a person. That person might have hang out on the panel of that person, and then they started their own channel, that type thing, or the person might have shouted them out. When St. James first came out here, I was stumping hard for St. James. I was his number one fan. Me and Bourbon Bubblegum. Me and my moderator, Bourbon Bubblegum, we had loved us some St. James. So some people might have said that St. James came out of the House of Cruiser. But that if that was the case, that thing done switched around. If I was his blog mother, he now my blog father. If you go along with beef sector standards. But I think that St. James been out here about 3 years? Has it been 3 years? And he's grown pretty fast. So you are exactly right, Lady T-shirts. Let me see what else. So are y'all familiar with this pastor, Reverend Dr. Kevin R. Johnson? And are y'all familiar with what went on with the church? Because I think it was a whole court proceeding. We're going to get to what St. James, what was on St. James' show to find out what happened. Okay, Catherine Powell says she knows about Kevin Johnson. Baby, the pastors are getting homecomings like the times has changed. Let's see, I probably would hurt people's feelings about my beliefs, but I'm not here to debate. And see, that's the thing, Lady T. Absolutely nobody hurts my feeling about their belief. Me personally. Because I respect other people's choices and other people's belief. And not even choices. For me, my belief is not a choice. It's a fact for me. So other people's don't move me. Like I said, if somebody's Buddha, I respect that. And I encourage them in it. If somebody's Jehovah's Witness, I respect that. And I encourage them in it. If somebody is, you could be atheist. I respect that. I'm not going to encourage you in it. But I respect it. And I'm not going to try to change you if that's not what you want. Now, if you want to come on over and believe in Jesus Christ, I'm all for it. But again, I respect. I don't get moved and all emotional about somebody else's belief. I don't. As long as it don't bother me and mine. Now, you ain't going to come and practice any of it in my house. And I ain't going to follow it. But I ain't going to stop you from doing it. And I ain't going to try to say, unless you come to me and ask, I ain't gonna really. I might pray for you. I might, but how effective that is, it depends on you, because even God tells you to choose. God tells us to choose. So who am I? Who am I? I stay in my place. Y'all remember we talked about that one day? Stay in your place. That's the problem with church. We don't stay in our place. We don't know our place. We don't stay in our place. I stay in my place. And what is my place? My place is a believer. I'm not God. I'm not the great I am. I'm not the wonderful counselor that y'all going to be celebrating tomorrow, which I celebrate them every day. That's just me being shady. I'm not any of that. I'm Geneva. I'm Cruiser. I'm a believer. I'm a child of God. And I stay in my place. I'm not God. I'm not the great wonder. I'm not the great I am. I'm not the miracle worker. So I just stay in my place. I just do that. Yours truly said, Cruiser, pastoring is a job, career. If you're good at evoking emotion, I don't know these people. I think you could be a pastor without just only evoking emotion. A good pastor understands that he's not the one, or she's not the one to evoke emotion. That comes from God. A good pastor understands that. A good pastor understands that they're just a mouthpiece. They're just working a position in the church, because ain't no position in the church more important than the other. None. Not the pastor is not greater than the usher at the door. But when we understand that, we'll be a better church. But because we have all of these positions and hierarchies and stuff, then that's the issue. That is an issue. So again, yesterday on St. James Church show was the young man, Kevin, what's his name again? Kevin Johnson. And just to give y'all y'all go over there and watch it. It was a good show. And something that Thais said yesterday that was so correct. These type shows don't get those high views. Thais said if we was on here talking about the pastor doing the humpity hump, you wouldn't be no room for folks to get in. And it's right. If St. James was over there talking, about something else, it would have been 5,000, 8,000, 20,000 views. Same thing with Thais. It would have been 8,000, 20,000 views. But because they was talking about something more structured, than just beefy and all of that, then, you don't get as many people. But I enjoyed both shows. So yesterday on St. James, hold on, let me get my notes right here so I can give y'all a summary. So he did an introduction to the Ebenezer Baptist Church and the lawsuits that was going on.
Everybody, this is the Right Reverend Dr. Kevin Johnson. Now, Dr. Kevin Johnson is the newly elected pastor. Well, he's been in it for a little bit now. Newly elected pastor of the Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem, New York. Of course, very prestigious church, very affluent church, very social justice driven church. Some of the greats have come out of the church and go to the church. We know that Reverend Dr. Butts, right there to the right, in the corner, was the pastor.
So he first introduced the pastor. The Ebenezer Baptist Church is significant church. Is a significant church in Harlem. The speaker explains, with speaker being St. James, explains the background of the pastoral church committee formed by the late Reverend Dr. Calvin O. Butts III. I've heard of him. And the committees, the controversies that led to the two lawsuits. So there was two lawsuits with this. Dr. Ebony Marshall Turman filed a lawsuit alleging gender bias after she was excluded from the final selection process. So there was a lawsuit with a lady who felt like there was some gender bias that went on. Her claim was dismissed by the judge, and she reportedly decided not to appeal the decision. The second lawsuit concerning this installing this pastor that went on was filed by several longtime members, including Reverend Dr. C. Vernon Mason, Dr. Kevin McGruder, Jasmine McFarland White, and Clarence Ebald III, challenging the election process of Reverend Dr. Kevin R. Johnson. So that's what they were discussing. There was a dismissal of the second lawsuit by the Supreme Court of the state of New York. So both lawsuits were dismissed, and it was upheld Dr. Johnson's election. And just to play a little bit of, and I'm going to play all this, of course.
Profound gratitude to our congregation and supporters for your. This has been a long journey, and we want to express our profound gratitude to our congregation and supporters for your trust, patience, and prayers throughout this process. The church said in a memo to the congregation, the court has now confirmed what we have known all along. The voice of the congregation was heard, and the will of the congregation was honored. We are ready to close.
So hopefully the church is ready to move on, honor what the congregation's vote was, because I'm assuming they had a vote, based on their bylaws, and then go with what the court says, and they're ready to move on and be healthy. Now let's just operate as a church, hopefully. So y'all go over there and check that out. He did have a discussion with the reverend, the pastor, was on the show himself, so he was able to have a conversation with him. Hold on, let me see if we can hear from him just a little bit before I move on to the next thing I want to talk about. And the Juice Radio was over there also. I'm pretty sure, was he on the show? I gotta watch the rest of it. Okay, maybe he wasn't on there. Maybe he was just discussing it, but I thought he was on. Well, anyway, I'll watch the rest of it. And y'all make sure y'all watch it too, because I got to about the when it first came on, he was talking about what's your favorite Christmas album, and I was enjoying that, going through the Christmas albums. And then he started doing the introduction, and guess what Miss Cruiser did? It was late, and Mama went to sleep. So y'all along with me, let's watch that today, that discussion today. The Juice Radio was on there, so it should be really good. All right, let me see what y'all saying in the chat. So we're going to move on to the next thing, because I got to go to work today. And I'm a little envious of all of y'all who don't have to go to work today. I'm hating on you a little bit. So let me see what y'all saying in the chat. The pastor, the old black church, the pastor Johnson does have questionable path. Ooh, he have a questionable path? How so? Catherine says, Pastor Johnson wasn't on the show. He just talked about him. Okay. Thank you for that correction. Obviously, I got to watch the rest of it. Like I said, I got through the part where he was doing the introduction. I got through all the Christmas stuff and the part where he was doing the introduction. And then I said, well, I'm going to talk about this in the morning, but I'm going to have to watch the rest of it later. Okay, so y'all like me, go watch it, because it's going to get interesting. If he has a questionable path, then it should be pretty juicy. So y'all make sure y'all go watch that. Because like I said, y'all go watch some stuff that involves some salacious stuff. Good morning, Miko. How you doing? Thank you for coming in. Lord, Catherine is correcting me. I wish I could drop the link so she can come up here. Abanasian. Is that how you pronounce it, Catherine? Not Ebenezer, Abanasian. Y'all know I mess up names. The old black church says that Pastor Butts was a civil rights leader. Okay. I hope this pastor stays clean, because finding dirt on pastors are trending and has been for years on these apps. Yeah, but and I guess that shows us that ain't nobody perfect. I think that, finding dirt on people is because we have these apps. We have social media. It used to be back in the day, folks, there was murmurings and rumors and stuff, and people knew and talked, but you didn't have, these social medias that can get, thousands and thousands and thousands of videos out within minutes. But people are not perfect. And I'm not trying to defend anybody's bad behavior. I'm just saying I don't expect anybody to be more perfect than I am. So with the same grace that I receive, I give. And when it comes to pastors, I don't see them as God. I don't look to pastors as God. Pastors and ministers and stuff, I don't look to them as God. They don't determine my relationship with God either. So if they mess up and they have a fall, it don't cause me hurt and all that, because I don't put them up on the pedestal. And maybe because I wasn't raised in church in the traditional way. Maybe it's that, because of that. Maybe that's why. And I wasn't taught by my parents to put pastors and ministers on pedestals. We were taught, when my parents came to Christ, they taught us to believe in God. That's what they taught us. Hold on one second, y'all. Hopefully this won't be too loud. Hello? Going where? Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay. He's good. He's good. Okay, you're taking him to school? Oh, okay, he excited. Hey Zaza. Hey Zaza. Oh, okay. All right. I'll call you back. I'm live. I'm sorry about that, y'all. That's my daughter. When my children call, I'm answering the phone. I'm answering the phone. My children call, and especially with my grandson, my daughter's on the way to taking my daughter's on the way to taking my grandson to daycare. They was a little under the weather yesterday, but kids snap back, so he's going back he loves his little daycare, honey. He loves going there to talk to his friends. So there's I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Hold on, let me find out how to pronounce this right. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know I be pronouncing stuff all wrong. So let me find out how to pronounce this so we can move on to the next story. And I appreciate y'all putting up with me this morning. Y'all can tell I just kind of put this together this morning so I can go live. But I did enjoy seeing other stuff yesterday and not just mess. Okay, so she gonna pronounce it for me. Pronounce it for me, Shook. Hold on, pronounce it for me.
Abyssinian.
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 Okay, so Reverend Dr. Kevin R. Johnson was installed in the Abyssinian Church yesterday. He was not on the St. James show. However, St. James talked about him being installed in the 2 lawsuits that was a part of it. As a result of him being installed. The first person was a lady. She felt like there was a little gender bias, so she took it and the court ruled against her, and she did not appeal. The second one was former people, members of the church or reverends of the church or whatever, and it was tossed out or overthrown by the court, and they did not appeal. So even though he was voted in or installed in 2024, they had to deal. The church had what's the name of the church again, baby?
Abyssinian.
The Abyssinian Church. Abyssinian, what's the whole church name? So let me get the whole thing. The Abyssinian Baptist Church over there in New York, New York. I guess in the Harlem area. I don't know too much about the New York area. They have their new pastor now, so hopefully the Abyssinian Baptist Church can move on and go ahead and deal with church and enjoy their new pastor, and get back to normal and be healed after all of that. I love Siri. And y'all know I mess up a name. So appreciate you, Catherine, for the corrections. That's my Zaza. Y'all know I love cruising, right? I call my grandson, his name is Zion. And y'all know I love cruising. And he, of course, got his daddy's last name. And can I tell y'all know I love cruising. Can I tell y'all, I call him Zion Ship because that's his name. My grandson's last name is Ship. Ain't that something? Anyway. And I'm taking him. I said I was going to wait. I said I ain't going to take him on the cruise because he's so little. I'm going to wait till he's much older, blah, blah. I'm taking him on a cruise in October. I don't know why y'all playing. Why y'all believe me when I said I was gonna wait to take it? I'm taking my baby on a cruise. Now I haven't booked it yet. I'm still doing research because to make sure that when I take him on, it'd be one that he'll be able to appreciate and enjoy and be safe on, and to be nice and clean and all that stuff. But I'm taking my Zion ship on the ship. But yeah, I always got to stop and talk to my kids. What are these pastors that have unclean milk are going through to me is what we all have been taught about the last and evil days. Good point, Ox. Good point. What these pastors are going through to have unclean milk or with unclean milk are going through is what we've been taught about the last and evil days. Yep. Yep. Hey, Crystal. I appreciate ministers and speakers who weren't squeaky clean. I'm not. Yeah, they can get a better message across. It seemed like to me. Ox says, Cruiser, we are having a holiday cocktails tonight. You want to join? Because I don't really celebrate Christmas in the traditional way. Around this time is when I go into hiding. Like the only thing I really do in celebration, quote unquote, is I go join dinner with my family. My daughter was just talking about that because my daughter, Zion's mom, she's kind of like me. She's not sure. Like I'm the only one in my family that don't celebrate Christmas, but my oldest daughter, my middle child, she's unsure. So that was her just calling me to tell me, I think I am going to go to dinner tomorrow because I go to my mom's house and I do holiday or Christmas dinner with them out of respect for my parents and out of respect for my mama because she loves Christmas so much. And so my daughter was like, oh no, because I'm kind of like you, Mom. I'm just, but she just decided I'm going to eat. Like, girl, let's go eat. Why are you playing? Let's go eat. We can wait till after they open all the gifts and do all of that commercialized stuff, and then we can eat and enjoy the Cowboys playing the Redskins. But other than that, I avoid the rest. I go into hiding. Yesterday, Really Big TV had her channel's Christmas party, and I told her, I said, okay, I'm going into hiding because even though I respect it, it's awkward for me. It's a thing where you try to respect what other people believe and have respect for that. But it becomes awkward for you because you don't want to cross the line into what you don't really believe. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to compromise what I do to satisfy other people. And so, like I said, out of respect for my mom, I go eat dinner, but I try my best not to compromise what I do and what I believe in order to honor her. Anyway, enough about that. That's what I'm looking at, Ox City, the Disney cruise. I'm looking at the Disney cruise for him. Nice said, take your grandson on a Disney cruise. Yes, that's what we're looking at, the Disney cruise. My cousin was just on, hey, Detroit 313, how you doing, sugar? My cousin was just on one of the new ships about 2 weeks ago, one of the new Disney big ships. But I said, I don't want to do the big ship because he's such a little guy. I want to do something smaller, a little bit smaller. But I was looking at that big, I said, now that's a big, pretty ship. Y'all know I like big, new, pretty things. But we'll get that worked out by October to take him on. He's 2. My grandson is 2 years old. He was born in October 2023. He's 2 years old. You better put us on hold for that baby girl. Yes, I can't wait to see him. I may see him tonight or tomorrow. Like I said, my family and my whole family celebrate Christmas. So this is so cute. This is so cute. His daddy makes me like him more and more every day. So for Christmas, don't y'all tell him, okay? It's just between me and y'all. One of his gifts is his daddy bought him a little car. The little, he can actually get in. He got a passenger seat with a little steering wheel. Now he's had little trucks and cars. Ox City, you remember that video I sent y'all where my grandson, it was this little work truck. I can't like a dump truck or something. And the boy wouldn't drive the thing, like just sit on it with both straddling it with, one foot on one side and one foot on the other side. No, not my grandson. My grandson had to ride it with, he just standing up on one side with one foot down, making that thing go as fast as he could as he's standing up on the seat. So he's had little cars and things before, but this one he actually get to open the door, get in it, sit down. There's a little steering wheel and a little gas pedal and everything. And then there's a remote control to it. So his mom can work it by remote control, or he can work it himself. Well, it's a Mercedes. It's a little Mercedes car. Now, those of you who know me well know that my favorite car is a Mercedes. My favorite car. If I go trade a car and ain't nobody got to say, what kind of car did you get? Everybody already know it's a Mercedes. All I did was go get the newest version of the Mercedes. And it's a Mercedes. And my friend, Oxy said, we know he know how to drive. But that thing tickled me when I sent that video on how my grandson was driving that little car. He was only one then. The way he was driving that little car, honey, standing up on that seat, going all fast. But anyways, but now he got him a little Mercedes. Don't tell him yet, because he ain't gonna get it till tonight. But so my friend that's on here, Nothing But Bags, she sent, I got it yesterday out the mailbox. She sent him a hoodie that's got a big old Mercedes on it. So me and my grandson, we're gonna get to drive our little Mercedes together. He's a Mercedes little fella. That's of all the gifts that I've seen that he's got, that's the most neatest one. And that's the one I am so excited about him seeing and getting in and driving. Because every time, like if I go over there and I'm sitting in the car for a little while, he wants to sit in my lap and touch my steering wheel and press the buttons in my car and all that, like he's driving. Now he got his own little car to drive. And I'm so excited about it. But anyway, y'all know I get to talk about my grandson. The softer side of cruises is that grand boy. It is in how excitement fluctuating your voice. I love that boy. Let me tell you something. Hey, Sean Talks. Good morning. Let me tell you something. My kids are 31, 28, and 25. And I know that people are having children at older ages now. Like we had our kids like at 24, 25, 30. It was kind of getting late. You gonna have a kid or not? But now people have kids older. But because of all our friends, me and my husband's friend, my husband is 62 years old. All our friends had grandkids. All of my sisters have well, not my baby sister's only 43. She just had her first child at 42, 43. But all of our, friends and relatives that were around our age, they had grandkids. We ain't have no grandkids. And I remember Josh said to me one time, I don't think our kids are interested in having no kids. I said, obviously not. We just play with other people's kids and, and call them our own, So when Leslie got pregnant, it was like, I'm having a grandbaby. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me. You can't tell me nothing with that boy. I sure do. He is my heart, my little Zion ship. That's my heart, baby. I love that boy. And he's a hoot. Zion is a hoot. I'm gonna tell you right now. He is a hoot. He's such a sweet boy. But anyway, let me move on before I have to go to work. Yeah, I have, my oldest is a boy. My 31-year-old is a boy. And then I have two girls. So I have one boy and two girls. But whatever it would have came in, I would have been happy. Whatever would have came in. Sean Talk said, my grandbaby is such a joy. So I didn't even know you had a grandbaby. See, yes, ain't nothing like it. That's boys for you. I raised 3. Just doing things differently, you would be like, huh? Yeah, boys are different. When my girls came along, I said, ooh, boys, my son was, them girls was different from my boy. And my mother had 4 girls, no boys. My parents, 4 girls. They had all girls, no boys. So, of course, when my mom started having grandchildren, she wanted boys. And the first, Junior, Corey, and then Joshua. The first 3 grandkids that they had were boys. And then Leslie came along, a girl, and then my baby girl. And then the last one, they have a 5-year-old. My sister had a baby at age 42, 43. Her first baby is a boy. So my mom, she's crazy about them. Of course, she's crazy about her granddaughters. Them her friends. They show her everything and shop with her and all that. But she was crazy about them boys. But she was rough on them boys, though. She didn't play with them boys. But anyway, let me move on. So prayers for the church that they will get it together over there at the, I don't forgot how to pronounce it already. Ebenezer, or however you pronounce it, church over there in Harlem, and they will appreciate the pastor that's been voted in, and the courts done said twice he the pastor, and they will do fine. Have y'all ever heard of Be Heard? Be Heard, period. Be Heard, he's the guy who says things they do in the church, or things I'm talking about in the church, and they're going to be mad or something like that. Be Heard. Y'all ever heard of him? He did something, the old ship of Zion. I like to play with that, my Zion ship name. Oh, Zion. I cried when my daughter came in my room. She said, Mama, I think I know his name. I think what I'm going to name him. And she said Zion. I had to turn my face around because tears started. I said, oh, she going to give him a good name. She ain't going to give him a name I can't pronounce. You know, sometimes them kids be getting them names I can't pronounce them. Or I don't know them. I was glad she didn't name the boy Hennessy. I was glad she didn't name the boy Vodka or something like that. I don't know. I don't think she would have, but I was just glad she gave him a good wholesome name. A good wholesome name. But anyway, so y'all don't know. Let me let y'all hear what he said about, he did something. He does different videos on different situations, challenging the church, I would say. So he did a whole live because he didn't like the way that people responded to him in this little clip that he did about Pastor Jamal Bryant. He said Pastor Jamal Bryant made a public promise back in June at the Holy Convocation to give 4-year scholarships to 3 young men. According to the mother of one of these young men, this has not happened. She wants to know why. So this mother reached out to this guy, Be Heard, and said that her son didn't get the scholarship that was publicly promised. And he took to TikTok and Facebook asking about this. So let me let y'all hear Be Heard and the whole matter. And then I want to get y'all opinion on it. Hold on. His name is Be Heard, period, or sometimes he can go by P Heard.
Man, y'all check this out.
Hold on, let's start it over.
Get mad at me for saying it, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
So that's what he always start out. Stuff the church is going to get mad at me for saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. All of his videos start out that way. Stuff that the church is going to get mad at me for saying, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Man, y'all check this out.
If you're a young man in the room between 18 and 21 and you are not in school, I want you to meet me at this altar. I want to pray for you. Thank you. How old are you? 18. Thank you. Lift up your hands from who's here with you? You by yourself. Thank you. How old are you? 21. Thank you. How old are you? 21. If you were in school, what would you major in? Criminal. Who's here with you? Yes. The family that's with him, would you come stand behind? So what is going on is this is Pastor Jamal Bryant. He's at a convocation, according to this guy, and he was doing altar call, and he said, if you were, a young man and you're not in school, come up to the altar. And these 3 young men came up to the altar. One was 18, the other 2 were 21, and they said that they were not in school. So he starts talking about them about going to school and going to college. Please, family that's with him, lift up your hands for me. Family, put your hand on his back for me. Thank you. Hallelujah. If you were in school, what would you major in? Nursing. Yeah. Would you lift up that hand for me? Who's here with you? Your pastor. Pastor, come stand behind your member. Put your hand on his back for me, please. Hallelujah. Yeah. Is your pastor here? Yes. One of your friends here? Yeah. Friend of his. What's your name? Alex's friend, come. Alex, how old are you? 18. Tell me your name again. Zion is 21. Andrew is 21. Do you want to go to?
Hit the link in the comments for the full video.
So basically,
Black church don't get mad.
Basically, he promised them, these men, young men, scholarships to go to school. Zion and the other one, I forgot the other one name, but y'all know I remember the one named Zion. The 18-year-old and Zion, which was 21-year-old, they got their scholarship according to what I've read. But Andrew, who was also 21, the one that was in the white there, you see him on the screen. I don't know if you can see it on the screen here on the white jacket. He did not get his scholarship, and his mother reached out to this guy, Be Heard, to ask his assistance in, because she said she tried to call the church. She said she tried to reach out to Jamal Bryant, and that they haven't heard anything back. So as a result, people in the comments start asking Be Heard, did you talk to Jamal Bryant? Did you reach out to him to hear his side? They kind of started getting on him. They said, Jamal Bryant, for him to have given two of the guys their scholarships, why didn't they give the other guy the scholarship? They just started kind of questioning him about, what happened? Did you check into it before you start going in on Jamal Bryant? And as a result, he got up on YouTube and did a 59-minute video snapping back at folks that was snapping at him. Let's play a little bit of the start of this video. Hold on.
Talking about. Good evening, y'all. Hallelujah. See who's watching. Say what's happening. Who is that?
Hold on. Let me get through the hellos.
Miss Rowe is watching. I'll wait. Lose sight of that. They did not ask him, hey, can you give us this? Hey, they did not ask. He voluntarily said, listen, here's what I'm going to do. And he said the bishop didn't even know that he was about to do what he was about to do. And then to offer that to them, to have the people go up in an uproar, worship, praise, cheer, shout over it, and then you go ghost for 6 months, nothing. When you yourself said August 17th, y'all gonna be in school. August 17th, oh, they contacted me, and I found some young men, and y'all gonna be in school, and you ghost them. I got the receipts. The moms.
He said you ghost them, but the story goes that two of the boys went to school. Just one. So why you keep? Oh, I guess he mean them as in you ghosted the family.
Sent me everything, and that happened this morning. She sent me all this morning. That's how quick I jumped on it. I said, no, this ain't not heck no. And then for the quote unquote Christian mature adults to jump into the comments and tell me I'm premature in my assessment, that I'm only doing that video for money. Well, I praise God for you thinking it's all about money. Well, you probably wouldn't want to switch places with me. I'll tell you that. But anyway, keep talking because your words got power. And if you keep talking about it being about money, well, then maybe the money will finally show up. But, and how they just jumped in and protect him. Will be Jamal Bryant. Oh, he's a man of his word. He's a man of his. That man, you don't know that man, a man of his word. How you know he a man of his word? You don't know him. Okay. I go to his church. That don't mean you. So
that's him. A little bit of him snapping back again. Let me put this link so y'all can watch all 59 minutes of it of that on your own, and subscribe to his channel here on YouTube, and you can check him out on Facebook and TikTok, and you just put in Be Heard, and he's gonna come up. He's just put in that, and he's gonna come up. So what are y'all thoughts? Do y'all think that he jumped the gun a little bit? Do y'all think that he should have gave time for Jamal to answer? Should he have heard Jamal's side of it? What are y'all thoughts? Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Crystal Marshall said, I've never heard of Jamal Bryant playing games like that. Hey, Queen Sparkles, why he didn't snap back at Ray J when he said nobody showed that interview. Be Heard said something about Ray J. I didn't know he I thought he only dealt with church stuff. What was said, so they weren't in school, so maybe they didn't the money because they haven't shown proof of active enrollment. And that's what people was asking them. They was like, did they do their FAFSA? Did they, because one of the boy that did not go, He's 21 years old. And his name is, I think his name is Andrew Coleman, because he says here, thank you, Mr. B. Heard, for sharing my story. Ever since Pastor Jamal Bryant promised to help me go to school, I was excited and hopeful about my future. But when he didn't keep his word, it really crushed me. Because of that broken promise, I have lost the motivation to pursue college right now. All I want is accountability for what happened. I truly appreciate your giving my story a voice. So he's 21 years old. So obviously he's been out of high school for a while. So did he apply to the school? Cause Jamal Bryant only, from what I understand, only promised to pay the tuition. So did he apply to a school, get accepted in a school? You know, in my opinion, I think that B. Heard, I don't think he's out here for the numbers and the money like people are accusing him of. I've watched him say other things that I agree with. You know, he always, like I said, he always started out with things I'm going to say about the church, and they're not going to agree with me. They're going to be mad or something like that, the way he started out. And I think he have good intentions. But with this, I think he may have jumped the gun, because we don't know the rest of the story. We don't know Jamal Bryant's side. We don't know, you know, it would have been nice if he would have brought the mother on so that he could ask her, did he enroll in school? Was he accepted? Did y'all send a copy of the what the tuition going to be? Because whenever you enroll, listen, I done put 2 through school, baby. I done put 2 through college. Shout out to my baby girl. She's a college graduate now. Tell the Lord thank you. She walk in May, but she's already completed everything she needed to complete. But I don't put 2 through school, so I know that you go and you apply for the classes. I mean, that you register for the classes, and then they give you this amount of time. Okay, the tuition due by, let's say if you register for classes for January, and you know, you get that, they'll say, okay, the classes, the amount is due January 5th. Or did you fax it over? I mean, I got questions. You know, he just got this email from the mother. He brought it on social media. But we got questions. And not saying that we're defending Jamal Bryant. If it turns out Jamal Bryant promised this boy something and he didn't deliver, yeah, we're gonna be all into it. But are we allowed to ask questions first? Lady T said, I have a Joshua, Isaiah, Zion, and Jeremiah. Lady said, we can talk about the okay. Let's see. Let me get to the more recent comments. Let me make sure I can see all the there it is. I can see them all now. Ox City said, sounds like he was looking for help doing it all. Ox City also says the mom should have contacted the church. Was the boy enrolled in school? Lady T says, is he the speaker of the family or something? Yeah, he's the mother wrote him a letter asking him to look into this further or get some attention to this, because she's trying to get Jamal Bryant's attention, to tell him that, you know, hey, I was one of the mothers that you promised my son to go to school, and I haven't heard. It's been 6 months and I haven't heard from you. So yeah, she reached, the mother of this young man reached out to be heard, to take it to the internet. Sean Talk says, people love to come for Pastor Jamal. Something about this ain't right. And I'm not going to say, you know, of course he's not perfect, so it could be just the way he said. But, you know, I think that the audience that you're coming to, is okay for them to ask questions without them just say, oh, y'all just want to defend Jamal. Y'all just want to be led blind, you know, without all of that, you know. What was said, I hope they didn't think Jamal was going to write them a check. He was going to pay for the school. Dumb. Yeah, you know, send us the tuition bill and then we'll submit the check over to the school. And you know, and some people think, and I'm not saying this family, that we don't have enough information to know. We don't have enough details, but some people think, you know, oh, I'm calling you because my light bill's due, and think you're gonna just give them $200. No, who you with? City of High Point, City of Jamestown? You with Duke Power? Who you with? Piedmont Natural Gas? Who you with? Because we're going to pay them. We're going to call over there and say, I'm paying this bill for Sally Joe. And people get mad about that because they want you to put the money in their hands. Good morning, Emily B. I am a financial aid counselor, and before a student can receive scholarship from an organization, they have to provide enrollment verification before they release the scholarship. Exactly. There are some things that you got to do before, and then they get these things done. I mean, it would have been one thing if she would have said, and we didn't see the letter. He didn't tell us about the letter or anything. So it would have been one thing to say that he was all enrolled in school and we had him all registered and signed up, and the only thing needed was the tuition paid, and we ain't heard from him to pay the tuition. But we don't know that to be true. Anyway, I get both sides before just coming out. Catherine Powell says, Cruz and my sons have biblical names as well, Jacob and Solomon. Why hasn't the mother reached out to the Pastor Bryant herself? Well, she said that the mother said she did, and she haven't heard back from him. So this man has a big platform. So I guess she figured I'll reach out to somebody that I see on social media who has a big platform and see if he can get the attention of Jamal Bryant or the church. For this young man to now be unmotivated, something's not right, and now be heard needs to follow up all the way through on this. Yeah. I asked him I dropped in his chat, and I just put the link in there. I asked him, where's the mother's video? And then as I kept listening to the video, I understood that the mother didn't put out a video, nor did Andrew, the student himself, Coleman, put out a video. They just sent him a letter or an email or however they sent something to him, and he spoke for them. So we haven't heard from them direct and asked, child. Anyway, I ain't seen nothing else on it other than he took to Facebook again, fussing about, making a post about, y'all fussing at me, but this is the young man. Let me see if he put anything else. This is the young man. Yeah, he just kind of reposted it again and was fussing that people was fussing about him questioning it. He had something to say about John Gray too. Like I said, he does these videos all the time. Hold on, let me let y'all listen to this, what he had to say about John Gray.
Number one song. Things the black church don't get mad at me for saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Man, y'all check this out.
The number one gospel song is sung by someone with no soul. But it's the number one song that believers have made number one. So God made us in his image. Now we making God's in our.
So this one is about John Gray. John Gray said the number one song right now is an AI song, and this is somebody that's not a believer, is not even human. So he had something to say about that.
Attached to that song, whether they did the music or whether they did the lyrics. And I am certain that the number one gospel song that he's talking about is copyrighted. So that means there had to be some human element attached to it. Either they did the music or they did the lyrics. They did something. It came from the heart of the human into the program to assist the artist. What are you talking about, John Gray? And then the scripture that you used didn't even go with that. You act like you did something. No, that scripture is talking about people who are going to come and act like they're the Messiah.
So that's just giving y'all a good idea of what Be Heard says. He challenges things that the black church got going on. That's pretty much who Be Heard is and what he does. He challenges different things going on and say it in the black church. Yeah, he's obviously for AI. John Gray. Emily said, "Oh, John Gray is so annoying." Yeah. John Gray he's had his issues too. John Gray has had his issues too, and his stuff going on. John Gray needs to focus on on not cheating on his wife. Hey, CH. Hey, Sugar. See, I agree with Be Heard. Stop putting 20 on 10. Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff that Be Heard says, I agree with. Some of the stuff I'm like, okay, Be Heard, come on now. You just like to critique stuff. But I would say probably, I agree with Be Heard probably 60% of the time. Probably 60% of the time, I believe. Hey, I think I spoke. Hey, Jay Parrish, thank you for coming back. Y'all make sure that y'all check out my video before this. I did a whole thank you to my members. I did a whole thank you to my subscribers and all of that before, and then I hit the wrong button and the video and ended the video. So y'all make sure y'all check out the first one that says morning live, because I ended the whole thing. Make sure I got through these comments. And if I didn't speak to anybody, forgive me. I'm trying to go between devices and everything, and all of that. Y'all make sure that y'all are subscribed to Sean Talks. Queen Sparkles, you subscribe to Sean Talks. Y'all make sure that y'all are subscribed to Sean Talks show. Sean name been talked about lately. He sure has. But y'all, I'm getting her link so I can put it in the chat so y'all can make sure y'all are subscribed to Sean Talks, and Jesse. Make sure that you are subscribed to Jesse Online. So the last thing I'm talking about this morning is something that Erica Campbell, y'all know Erica of Mary, one of the sisters. It's Tina and Erica, but their little group that they had is called Mary. Something she said I was so in agreement with. So I'm going to go ahead and play it here. Let me make sure my volume is up. Make sure
sometimes the year ahead is filled with difficult stuff. And if you promise them the moon, the stars,
my tablet will never let me be great. It don't like me. It don't get along with me.
Stars, if they turn around 3 times, if they jump up and clap, if you run around the room, if you...
Okay, here we go.
Hey, people. So we all know that the new year is coming. We all know that most churches will have some type of slogan for 2026. Can we just not this time? Y'all done made these people all these promises. Stuff God ain't said. Sometimes the year ahead is filled with difficult stuff. And if you promise them the moon, the stars, if they turn around 3 times, if they jump up and clap, if you run around the room, if you give $100, then this and that is gonna happen. And sometimes it don't happen. And y'all, we messing with people's faith. Let's teach them.
That's all I'm gonna play, because I didn't realize earlier that her song is playing behind it, and YouTube might give me a little problems with it. I agree with her. Every year people come up with these slogans. Just being me in 2023. Letting people go in 2024. It's like these slogans is like, and I'm with her. Just don't. And the funny thing is that what got me through last year, God didn't even give it to me till April for me. And I started sharing it with y'all. All is well. That was something that got me through 2025. But God ain't give it to me in December. He ain't give it to me January 1. As I was sitting down at the lounge. Did I go out this year maybe I was at home or wherever I was January 1st. It was April. I was on a flight coming back from Punta Cana. Y'all, I went over to Punta Cana, Dominican. I knew I wasn't going to like the Dominican. I had knowed it. I knew. Y'all know I like to say knowed it. I had knowed I wasn't going to like it, but I went anyway. As soon as I got to... Not off the airplane. I was still excited when I got off the flight. But as soon as I got to the resort, I hadn't even checked in yet, and I wanted to go home. The first thing I did when I got to the room and put my bags down is I started looking on my phone for a flight home. I wanted to go home. But anyway, that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm about to say, but that's the truth. I went to Punta Cana. I was like, I want to go home. As soon as I got there. But anyway. But on my flight back home, that is where God gave me the message, all is well, and told me to hold on to that. All is well. No matter what you're going through. But that was April. It wasn't no 2026. I wasn't listening to no sermon. Sometimes people come up with these cliches and slogans, and we don't know. If we didn't learn nothing else during the pandemic, you can plan everything you want to plan. But unless the Lord says the same, it ain't gonna happen that way. Oh, 2020, in 2020, that was my year. Because in 2020, I was turning 50 and I was supposed to go to Switzerland. And it was supposed to start off within March. I was going to go to Vegas for the very first time in my life. And I ain't made it to Vegas yet. Hopefully I will pretty soon here, but I haven't made it to Vegas yet. My point is that we can make all these plans and all these slogans and things like she said and promise these people and turn around 3 times and slap your head and slap your neighbor's head and all that. But if the Lord don't say the same, please don't do it. Don't give folks no false hope. We should be seeking God about what's upcoming for us. That's what we should be doing. See, because the new year don't give you no new you. New year, new me. No, it don't work like that. All it is the way that we keep up, that we're able to keep up with the coming years without time just flowing into each other. So it's a calendar, the calendar change. That's all. Most of us going to be living in the same house. Most of us going to be going to the same job. Ain't nothing magically going to happen December 31st when the clock rolls over at midnight to January 1, 2026. Tell the Lord thank you. So when she said this, I said, yes, yes. She said, please don't. Let's pull it back.
Hey, good people. So we all know that the new year is coming. We all know that most churches will have some type of slogan for 2026. Can we just not this time?
Can we just not this time? And I'm not saying that the Lord might not give you a theme. Or the Lord might give a pastor a thing. I'm not saying not, but I'm just saying if it didn't come from the Lord, please. Because he could give it to you in December, could give it to you in February, could give it to you in March, or he could not give it to you at all. He could just give you your daily bread. Give us this day our daily bread. I just shared with my daughters yesterday. I was encouraging my daughter, Zion's mama, and I was saying, when you have a relationship with God, then trust goes along with that. And that means that everything that you're seeking for, you're wanting, it don't always happen in the way that you want it to happen. But part of having a relationship with God and trusting God is saying, God, I believe whatever your will is right for me. It's like being upset. One of my friends often say it's like being upset because it seems like something is happening and you're late for whatever it is and you just get anxious about it because you're late. But maybe it was God that held you back because of something that was going to happen up the road. And I was sharing with my daughter, I said, at the time I was talking to her, I think it was something like 5:30. I said, it's 5:31 right now. I can't tell you what's going to happen at 5:32. As a human, I don't know. I can assume at 5:32 I'm gonna still be sitting here working. I can assume at 6:30, okay, I'm gonna log out from work and go on through my routine of get my dinner ready and taking a shower and then eat my dinner and watching a little TV. I can assume that, but I don't know that. Only God knows that. You know what I'm saying? So we have to trust in God because he said, give me the little prayer thing. Scripture says, give me this day my daily bread. Every day we look to God to give us what our daily needs. But we don't know what's going to happen the next day. So we have to trust God into knowing what's going to happen the next day. But so, like I said, he gave me something to get me through 2025 that encouraged me all the way through. All is well, and I shared it with my audience too. All is well, but it wasn't January 1st when he gave it to me. I was, like I said, I was on a flight headed home, and I was watching this movie. And that wasn't even the title of the movie, but throughout the movie, that had nothing to do really with faith or Christianity or anything. That's what the guy kept saying to the young men. And guess what? The movie wasn't even in English. I had to read the subtitles. So I wasn't even listening to the movie at the time. But God gave it to me on that airplane coming home. All is well. And it's been sticking with me. Now I'm going to stick with all is well until he gives me something else to get me through. But anyway, hopefully y'all understood. That makes sense what I just said. And hopefully I'm not too far from the mic because I'm looking at the wrong device. Hey, too many plays. Nothing but a new year. Happy holidays to you also. Except the Lord keeps the city, the watchman watches, but in vain. Right. Oxley said, I'm coming though. I ain't been to Vegas yet, but I'm coming. I'm going to Vegas. Desiree said, I love that at Cruiser. All is well. Yes, God, all is well. Yes, as long as, and like I said, I was on the plane back watching a movie that ain't have nothing to do with religion, church, or none of that. And the guy just kept saying it. And as I was looking at this movie again, because it wasn't in English, and I was looking at the subtitles, I was listening to inspirational music, because I listen to music when I'm on the flight. Sometimes I'll watch a movie. A lot of times I'll listen to music. And I didn't feel like, sometimes, like if it's a long flight, because this was a long flight, I might listen to the music the first 31 hour of the flight, and then watch a movie or watch something on the little, on Delta and the American Airlines. Some of the airlines you can look at, movies either comes in the back of the seat, or you can look at it on your device. But with this, I just wanted to keep listening to my music, and I was listening to inspirational worship music, but I was watching this movie at the same time, but I was just reading the subtitles, and it just kept saying all is well. And I just felt like that was what God wanted to use to get me through 2025, because 2025 was a rough year for me. 2024 was a rough year for me. It was a rough year for me. So I believe that that's what he did to get me through 2025. And now, and y'all heard me talk about this before. Not only is my daughter the one who's a college graduate now, not only is she celebrating finishing college with the first leg of it. She got more to go, but she's also celebrating the fact that it's been 10 years since her brain surgery, and it's been a journey. These 10 years has been a journey, but God is through it, and I knew this. Her completing this last leg of her school was going to be challenging, and it was very challenging. She's had, hospital visits and even hospital stays during this time, but God had already gave me in April, all is well. All is well. Not you gonna get your money, everything you look for, you gonna get yours. None of that. God gave me all is well, because that I needed a word. That was a word to get me through. When it looked bleak, oh Lord, she's not going to be able to finish because of this thing or that thing. All is well would jump up in my spirit, and we kept pushing forward. Somehow pushing for September, Labor Day, she was in the hospital, pushing forward. All is well. All is well. And even with all of my children, or even situations that I've just went through in life, with my parents and with them, things that they go through with them being older. With my sister, one of my sisters was diagnosed with a condition, and is in right. She's healed from it. I ain't gonna say it's not submission. What happens when something go? What's the word, y'all? Y'all help me with the word. Remission. I ain't gonna say it. I'm just gonna say she healed from it. So all is well got me through hard situations. All is well, and I'm gonna hold on to that until he give me something else, because he ain't gave me no picking up sticks in 2026. I'm trying to find. It's always got to rhyme for y'all. Y'all act like if it don't rhyme for y'all, it ain't a word from the Lord. But anyway. So shout out to Erica Campbell for that, for saying that. Stop. Please don't. Just stop. Unless it's from the Lord. Please don't. All right. That's all I got for y'all today. Thank y'all for coming in. And y'all remember to live in peace on purpose. And no matter what you're going through, all is well. All is well. Tell your heart that. Tell your mind that. Keep confessing that until it lines up and your faith is strong in it, and the things that you are praying to God for manifest in your life, and he brings you answers. And whatever answer that God gives you, it's what's best for you. He knows what's best. We can only see what's happening right now. We don't know what's going to come in the future. It was a particular job that my daughter started. And I knew when she started, I said, this girl is rushing. She just didn't want to be that stay at home. She wanted her own money. She was like, I'm either getting money from Zion's dad. Her and Zion's dad are not married. You know, it's like I go from his house and he taking care of me, and I'm now living in daddy's house. Daddy's taking care of me. You know, I just want my own, and that's understandable. The girl is 29 years old, but I felt like, oh, you just rushing out to this job. You just rushing out, and she jumped out there prematurely. You know what I'm saying? Because she didn't wait on God. Be patient. Wait on God. Be thankful that Zion has an excellent daddy that makes sure that Zion gets whatever he needs, and you too. Be thankful that you got a daddy that could just give you here's the house. Stay in this house. Stay in this, and daddy ain't gonna charge you no rent. You comfortable in there. You comfortable in there. So just be thankful for that. I know you want your own money, but be thankful in that, and be thankful that you're able to stay home with your child. Now he goes to daycare now, and I think she's going to end up, going back to work. But it is in a better situation where Zion's not sitting in daycare literally all for 9 hours. So it's a better situation. We got to learn how to trust God and wait on God. I know we want stuff. I know we want what we want, but we got to learn, because again, we can only see right now, but we can't see the full result of how that thing is going to turn out. And sometimes in his permissive will, you know how your children ask you something, they ask you something, and you want them to be happy, you want to give it to them, but you just think, it ain't best for them to have this right now. But sometimes being a mother, you just go ahead, or a father, you just go ahead and do it, and it's probably not the right timing. But that's, I believe God is like that with us. He'll be like, okay, I'm permissive. I'm going to just let you go out there. I'm going to protect you because you're just rushing. And it's just not the right timing. It's just not the right, because he knows. But anyway, let me get off that. Thank y'all again for coming in. Remember to live in peace on purpose. Desiree said that is the word from the Lord to the chat. As we move today, all is well. Family, be encouraged. Better days are coming. Keep the faith. And I'm going to end right there with that. Not it's going to get fixed in 2026. It is. But somebody going to grab and nab that. They're going to run with that. But let me read this again before I go. That's a word from the Lord to the chat. As we move on today, all is well, family. Be encouraged. Better days are coming. Keep the faith. Y'all have a good day. I'll see y'all around these YouTube streets.